No, you don't need the.
I'm doing this my way. He a legend, he a legend, he a legend. He a legend, he a legend, he a legend. He a legend. Welcome to the league, to the league, to the league, to the league, to the league of Iron. Welcome to the league, to the league, to the league, to the league, to the league of Iron.
What's up, everybody? It's Pikel with League of Items, and I made a mistake. I didn't talk about the LEC the last time I recorded this video, so I'm just going to speed run it this time. So first up in the LPL, we have EDG against Thundertalk Gaming. I obviously prefer EDG. I think that they haven't played to their level that they're capable of this year. Part of that comes down to the meta not being completely figured out. EDG is the type of team, once the meta is completely determined, they'll be able to fine-tune it to fit their team and draft much better and carve out bigger advantages for themselves in drafts. Thundertalk, I think, has a chance to keep this match close, but I do expect EDG to win 2-0. For Prizepicks, however, I think that UCal is a pretty good option for the over. He's hit the over a significant amount of the time based on that number. This is something that Link DFS posts. You should check him out on Twitter. It's pretty good. He hit that 7 the last 10 matches where he's been over, and a lot of those were in losses. So he is probably the main player on their team getting kills, and that's something that we want to be involved in. But that's really the only play that I would consider from Prizepicks there. And you know, you can always justify getting exposure to them on Draftkings. Next match is V5 against Anyone's Legend. The big takeaway for me in this matchup is Karsa is back, and Karsa is mispriced on Draftkings. He's a little bit too inexpensive, a little too cheap. But for Prizepicks, our options are Dream or Photic. I think that Photic with the over is a better option. He's had a lot of huge kill score games, and they're just trying to feed him as many kills as possible. He plays that carry style. He has done very well this split, and he has beaten that number 7 out of the last 10 matches. So, you know, if it doesn't hit, then of course you're going to feel like, oh, you know, of course the one time that I played, it doesn't actually hit. But that's the risk that we run betting. So that's that. I think that V5 probably 2-0s, and I think that V5 is probably the best DraftKings option for tomorrow. I found a few ways to kind of get unique, and part of it has to do with Karsa. So, you know, if you're going to mess around with builds for tomorrow, I would recommend getting Karsa into your build and trying to work things around that. Then we have two pretty good matches in the LCK. First up, we have Damwon against KT Rolster. So Damwon has been very good at strangling out opposing teams recently. They lost to T1, so this could be a match where they try to turn it on and really pile up kills. If I was going to play anything in this match, though, it would probably be the Arya over 3.5 side, and the reason is because he has done it. He has done it a decent amount. He's done a good job so far this season. At this number, he has... I'm playing the under, sorry. I just looked at that number and I was like, what am I doing? So he has only beaten this number 3 out of the last 10 matches. There are many ways that they can lose this. So even if Damwon Kia kind of turns up the heat and gets a lot of kills and it's a sloppy game, Arya could theoretically hit the over in this spot. But if Damwon 2-0s and is clinical in both of those matches and is just trying to get another win on the board, then it should be a very good opportunity for us to get an under, where I don't normally play unders, but I'm going to start looking for unders more often, I think. It really just comes down to whether or not you think KT has the firepower to deal with a team like Damwon Kia. Arya is a good player. Aiming is a good player. Rascal is a good player. Cuz is okay. And, you know, Damwon is stacked. They have a great roster. But we really want... In order for us to not feel comfortable with this Arya number and going under, we would need to probably see Damwon play a much more aggressive style, which would allow them to make more mistakes, which would give KT the opportunity to kind of collect some of those kills. But I think it's just a huge Canyon night. If Canyon was offered as one of the props, I definitely would have taken the over. But sadly, he is not. Then the last match of the day, and the best match of the day in Korea and probably across the world, is T1 against DRX. So DRX is one of my favorite teams. They've played very well so far this year, and this is a good opportunity for them to prove themselves against T1. The problem is T1 is coming off of a loss. I don't know the last time they lost. I don't know the last match they lost outside of international competition, because T1 is just that good. So I would expect T1 to get back to their winning ways. I don't expect T1 to have some kind of slide where they lose multiple matches in a row. Faker has not beaten that number, 5.5, in his last 10 tries. Meaning, so what this guy does, Link DFS, he takes the number that's offered for maps 1 and 2 and then rounds it to the closest whole number. So for this one, it's 6, divides that by 2, that's 3. So Faker needs to average 3 kills per game to beat that number on Prizepicks. Obviously, Faker can get 10 kills in a game. That's definitely within the range of outcomes. But something about the way that they're drafting and playing around Gumayusi is not putting Faker into those positions to get as many kills. Coming off of a loss, they could completely change their approach to the match or to the game in general, which is one of the reasons why I'm not playing the Faker under. If the Faker under is the better side, I'm afraid of Faker just going insane in this matchup. And that's kind of why I would hold off betting on the under in this one. The thing that I think you can go after is playing the unders for DRX. So if you take a look at Zika's number, he's done it 6 out of 10 times. Deft has done it 5 out of 10 times. I think that there's one of two ways this is going to play out. DRX is either going to be very aggressive in the early game, try to play around Piosik, put Zika onto a supportive mid laner that's able to roam and help Piosik. That is the way that they should approach this match, and that is how I want them to approach this match. That does not mean that they will. And then one thing that I think might happen, which is another reason why I like the unders for Deft, is he might be playing Senna, he might be playing Ezreal. Those two champions are generally not good for Draftkings or Prizepicks when you are expected to lose the match. And those are two of his best champions. So if Deft goes out and plays some hyper-aggressive early game champion, introduces a lot of variance into the lane, and gets some kills in lane, yes, he can go over if they win one of these games, if not beat T1. I just don't think that's going to happen. So I like the Zika under, and I like the Deft under. So those are my 5 picks for Prizepicks. Arya, Zika, Deft, Fodic, and Ucal. Arya under, Zika under, Deft under, Fodic over, Ucal over. That's how I expect to play it tonight. Then, last but not least, well, I guess technically least, out of those 3 regions, would be the LEC. So we have 5 matches tomorrow. Prizepicks are not up yet for that. First up, we have Misfits against BDS. Misfits is the better team. They're the more talented team. I want to play Misfits. I know that they haven't looked as good so far this season. I think that will turn around. I'm not concerned. Vitality against SK Gaming. Vitality is a much better team than SK Gaming in terms of talent. They have not looked good so far this season. I don't care. Excuse me. I don't care. I'm playing Vitality. Rogue against XL. This number should be bigger for XL or for Rogue. I think that Rogue should be favored by more than this. XL has looked good. They made the upset over Vitality. They've been very competitive in every single one of their games. If you wanted to bet on XL, go ahead. I just don't think you're getting enough value up against Rogue, who I think is a better team overall. So I would be on the Rogue side in this. And as a short favorite, I just think it's a little short. So I would actually consider betting Rogue at -130. Then we have Fnatic against Astralis. Astralis has looked good. I don't think that they're as good as Fnatic. I think you should be on the Fnatic side here. It's tough to lay $286 to win 100. But if that's something you're into, I could see that play. That's going to be fine. And then G2 against Mad. This is a good spot for Mad. I think that +150 is kind of too big of a number. And it looks like they put all the juice onto G2 at -200 basically. So I would definitely approach that. If we're going from a DraftKings perspective, I haven't looked at the DraftKings numbers or anything like that yet for the LEC. If I was playing a captain from Misfits, I'd probably just go after Vetio. If I was playing a captain from Vitality, I would probably play Karzi. For Rogue, I'd probably play Comp. For Fnatic, I'd probably play Upset. And if I'm guessing that if I'm playing the upset angle, I would probably go for Elyoya because that's the easiest way. That's the cleanest path to victory for them would be to play through Elyoya. In that scenario, I would also want Armlet on that team and Niski on that team for sure. And then you could pick one of the other players, whichever ones you like the best. I think that's basically it, though. This is my second shot recording this because I didn't incorporate the LEC, but I wanted to make sure that I got my thoughts out there. So again, if you want to be a part of the giveaway, I'm going to do the first round of giveaways tomorrow night. You need to comment on this video with a content idea you want to see on my channel, your favorite underdog playing on the upcoming slate, any of the slates, and then the team you think wins a specific league or a team that becomes the eventual world champions. And you also have to be a patron on Patreon, so check out the link for Patreon in the description. That's basically it. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later.